What's up guys, my name's Tony and I'm here in the middle of Australia right now at Uluru in the middle of winter, and I'm going to be providing you a 3-day guide on how to approach Uluru itself, accommodation, food as well as activities, and I'm going to be showing you how to approach these efficiently in those 3 days as well as how to do it in a cost-effective manner. Nestled within Australia's expansive red desert, Uluru emerges as a true marvel of nature, captivating the hearts of wanderers from every corner of the globe. Yet beyond its imposing 348-metre stature lies a profound tapestry of cultural and spiritual significance woven by the Anangu people, the indigenous custodians of this sacred land. However, the allure of Uluru's mystique has also given rise to a bustling tourism scene, bearing the weight of both its popularity and the cost of exploration. But it can be done on a budget. Starting at day 1, we flew into Ayers Rock Airport on a Friday afternoon via Sydney and decided to book a hire car which cost around 600 AED for the 24 hours we would be using the car for. There is an option to book a hop on and off bus which costs roughly 160 AED per person for 2 days or $210 for 3 days, but we wanted the car for the freedom to explore and stop wherever we wanted as well as beating the crowds before sunset and sunrise. So it really depends on what you value here. In terms of accommodation, as my partner broke his leg early in the year, our plans had to change for something more comfortable than camping in case he was still in a boot. So we opted for the Lost Camel Hotel, which cost roughly 660 AUD for 2 nights, which was cheaper than some of the other hotel options. Alternatively, there were the Emu Walk apartments if you have more than 2 people to keep the cost lower. However, these options were already sold out for us. Camping was obviously by far the cheapest option, starting at around $45 per night if you are willing to deal with the heat or cold, but the big campsite does come with the grassy areas and has plenty of facilities. As we arrived at 2 PM, we decided to settle into the hotel and then went to the local grocer to buy some food and ingredients. As a lot of our activities were occurring at early morning or sunset, to keep costs low and not have to go and find somewhere to eat or book expensive sunrise and sunset tours that had food included, we decided to buy ingredients for chia puddings and wraps to cater for brekkie and dinner. The supermarket had good stock of everything you'd find at a big supermarket, so roughly in total for food, drinks, and snacks, we spent around $80 per person for the 3 days. Our first evening, we decided to drive around the national park and ended up at Kata Tjuta for sunset, which was roughly a 15-minute drive from the hotel, and we ended up at the dedicated sunset spot as per the map here, where there was ample space, not many seats, but it also wasn't too crowded. As the sun set, we decided instead of booking an astro tour, we decided to go for a drive since we had the car to enjoy the stars by ourselves, overlooking Uluru with some food and wine. Day 2. We started early, making our way to the Uluru sunrise spot, which is roughly a 25-minute drive from the hotel, waiting in the morning queue at the park gates before they opened to get to the sunrise spots as soon as we could. This sunrise spot has the option of viewing platforms or the path below, which the latter is what I recommend, as you are far away from the crowds whilst getting the best vantage point with the natural landscape at eye level. Here we ate our chia puddings and enjoyed the beautiful first rays of sun hitting Uluru. We then made our way directly to the cultural centre nearby, where we hired bikes with Outback Bikes for $70 per person for 3 hours, which was well worth the money as it was the best and most enjoyable way to make your way around the 12-kilometre Uluru track in the heat of the day, stopping along the way to enjoy the beauties of watering holes, ancient rock paintings, and immense history. For lunch, as we had time and to break things up, we opted for the cafes in the town square as they were the cheapest option, ranging from $12 for pies and sandwiches all the way up to 25 to 35 AED for a decent pub-style lunch. Our evening was once again filled with driving around, enjoying the national park and taking the photos before we settled at the Uluru sunset spot. The best vantage point here was by far the end of the car park of the sunset spot, as we sat by our car with our wine and dinner with unobstructed views and no crowds, watching the hues of orange and red paint over the rocks as the sun set. As the moon came out, we then hopped on a bus to the Field of Lights installation, which cost us $45 per person, where you were able to roam around and be guided by the vast expanse of 50,000 solar-powered lights. It was truly a sight to see. Day 3. Our last sunrise we saved for Kata Tjuta. This sunrise spot is called the Kata Tjuta Dune Viewing Area and is roughly 40 minutes drive from the hotel. This sunrise spot only has a dedicated viewing platform and provides you with a side view of the Olgas as well as Uluru in the distance. We managed to get here first and secured the best spot on the rightmost corner of the viewing platform and enjoyed our brekkie before we proceeded to the Waupa Gorge walk at Kata Tjuta itself. This walk was an easy hour return walk and gets you amongst the beauty of the valleys these rocks create. An alternative walk is the Valley of the Winds walk, but as we were pressed for time and due to my partner's leg, we opted for the shorter walk, which was just as beautiful. We made our way back for lunch, packed up, and made our way to the airport before we flew back home. Okay, in terms of the final cost, as you can see here, it equated to roughly 995 AED per person. Obviously there are ways to lower this cost, but it's truly up to you and what you want to do. So just some final tips as well in regards to Uluru itself. I do recommend going to Uluru in winter. Particularly we went at the end of July, which was the perfect time to go because the days were still quite warm. The nights weren't actually too cold for us personally, and there weren't as many flies and barely any big crowds to deal with. I also recommend bringing your own alcohol as it is very expensive there. If you are hiring a car, you only need to purchase one park pass to scan as you enter the national park itself, and to always line up early at the park gates before they open, which depends on the time of year, in order to secure a good spot for sunrise if you have a car. Alright guys, well that pretty much concludes my 3-day guide to Uluru and how to do it on a budget as well. I hope you guys learned something from this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and also follow my socials as well. See you later guys.